come across this problem, there's all kinds of ways of dealing with it. I guess in your case, part of it was writing, and
that came later.
That came later.
It has to be an initiation. It can't be like you can't go to university and learn it. It has to be an initiation, and so. But again, that form, the initiatory rituals, are really things of the past. You know, they go back to the Paleolithic times when rituals were an expression of soul life. You didn't have to think about soul life; you just did the ritual. But if that's also gone, as we know, because we've got a whole bunch of generations of uninitiated people running the world, and so we have to rethink initiation. If the way to attune yourself with the reality of the times you were born into, which has always been the case, is through initiation. That's always been the case. What would be the initiation today to bring you into attunement with what the soul's doing today when it's so stunningly absent? That's the question. And you won't get a collective answer from that. You'll just get a not interested sign. Don't want that. But that is what so many people are suffering from today. It's neurotic. It's a neurosis, because a neurosis is where you're not in conformity with reality. And almost nobody is. It's all moving too fast. You know, the technology is moving too fast. How do you get into conformity with it? You get into conformity with a computer and a user, and then AI has been invented. You know, another accelerating phase. Got to tune yourself to that. Well, nobody can. So that's a prescription for neurosis. And the way to attunement is to not to get caught up in the various inflections of how it's manifesting, but to go deeper and to attune yourself to be initiated in a way that attunes you to the interiority of the world, what the soul of the world is doing. That form of initiation has never been done before, because the initiator is not the wise old man or the elders of the tribe or the elder shaman. The initiator is the psyche itself. Individuals are called up to it, you know, by it. That was in the 80s and 70s, 80s, 90s perhaps. That did have a name. It was called spiritual emergency, and it was distinguished from psychosis or a psychiatric problem. We began to make that really important distinction. So a spiritual emergency is where the ground gets taken from under your feet, everything you knew gets taken from under your feet, but you're conscious of it. Whereas in schizophrenia, it's just a shattering. And so there's no one really to talk to anymore that's coherent. But with a spiritual emergency, you can still talk to the person who's now become an initiate and help them navigate the same material that a psychotic or a schizophrenic has to deal with, but having a coherent self that can actually notice what's happening to them. And that's a whole different ballgame. This was captured well in alchemy and also in shamanic initiations, where the shamans, the shaman's head was cut off and put on a post so he could witness what was happening to the rest of his body, which was dismembered and boiled down, and you know, the bones picked out and had it put back in with an extra bone for the shaman and put back together while his head watched. See, that's structurally like a spiritual emergency. With the schizophrenic, you don't get the observing ego. And I've worked with a number of people who have been in a spiritual emergency, and that's what I look for. Is there a small self that's coherent, that I can talk to about these enormous happenings that are happening in the background of their soul life? Can I talk to them about that? It's not about understanding, it's about showing them that I'm on board here, you're not crazy, this is strong stuff, but it's in the back of everyone's psyche, you're just facing it. So we have to navigate it. And they can say, okay. And the relief that people feel is phenomenal when there's another person who wants to look at the content. So you see, another part of the conspiracy today is that psychiatry will not look at the content. They'll just say, okay, crazy, pills, medication. That's all they're interested in, normalizing. They don't look at the content because it's too frightening for them. They don't want to deal with it. Much quicker to medicate and get out. But so spiritual emergencies was a vehicle for exactly the kind of initiation to initiate somebody into the modern formulation of the spirit matter split, the vertical horizontal split that we're suffering today.